This is a extended introduction to cumulative self-talk, this method of writing and speaking and reflecting and problem solving, and then finding areas that you need to develop, and then researching those areas, and then coming back to the process, back to writing and speaking into one of these things, a smartphone, using text, audio and video apps to basically write and speak to yourself, over time, uncovering new things along the way. It's a way to develop the skills you've already got in terms of being able to write, speak, think, research. You develop these skills over time and you accumulate knowledge as you go along. And every time you uncover something, it can open up new areas to explore. You find after a bit that your muse comes to you and you start saying things and thinking things and wondering how you ever figured this stuff out. It's a really interesting and exciting process once you get into the flow of it, and soon enough you do. Simply through the act of writing and speaking. Memory was one of the things that really surprised me. At the outset, when I started doing all this in October of 2025, where I immersed myself into it until the end of March 2026 this year, my memory transformed of my background and of myself and my environment, figuring out things that I never would have imagined figuring out before. Again, through the act of writing and speaking. Sounds so simple. But yeah. On the website, jasanton.com, there's some key texts and other resources that lay the groundwork for another way of looking at things. In these times, we tend to focus, in the Western world at least, on the individual, and there's another way of looking at things, and I've tried to set up some resources on the website to give you the option of another way of looking at things. But ultimately you're your own boss with this. You haven't got a therapist, you haven't got someone else calling themselves professional and setting up what can be a bizarre dynamic with your own, what is your information. You know, being your own boss, you can look at the resources that I've set up and then figure out you've got a better way of doing it. Figuring out your own way through it all. But again, this process of speaking, writing, reflecting, problem solving, researching, and then going back to it, you find answers that you hadn't known there were even questions for before. It's a fascinating process, and you craft a new way of being, of relating to yourself, to other people, to your environment, to your background, and to your day-to-day life. I eventually got round to using artificial intelligence Now, if you're going to use this, develop your skills first. Take time to go through the process for long enough that you've got those skills in place. That's important. But artificial intelligence can help if you give it the right query. Now, what I do is I'll talk into a microphone attached to my phone, then get it transcribed with an app, upload it to an artificial intelligence service, and give it a good enough query, and it can come back with some quite interesting information from a variety of angles. But it's important that you build the skills up first. And that's not least because, for example, this afternoon, I was sitting around with an internal monologue going on. And I realised what was going on. I was able to pretty much automatically identify and locate problems. And soon enough, because of the practice that I've been involved in for so long, find solutions to them. And it did come really naturally, and I was quite surprised at how naturally it came. I mean, I've gone through most of my life with a set of ideas that I now know weren't accurate, weren't relevant, and didn't really help. And in its place, I've got something better, I think. And I figured out that a lot of my issues were down to this quest that took up so many aspects of my life for love and recognition. And through working in interesting ways with memory and problem solving and so on, I realised I'd had that love and recognition all along. And it makes a difference. It makes a big difference to your days, to your internal monologue as well, where something just kicks in, like with your muse, and you've struggled to figure out how you ever managed before, and how you managed to come across these ideas, and this better way of doing things.